Michelle Ling joined the Swimming and Water Safety Education team at LSV in 2018. She is working on the Public Water Safety Initiative funded by the Victorian Government to support both schools and the aquatic industry deliver school swimming and water safety programs that align with the Victorian curriculum. Michelle has a background in the aquatics and recreation industry, having previously worked in program delivery and facility management. She has delivered swimming and water safety programs and teacher training locally as well as internationally in Bahrain, Cambodia and Sri Lanka. With a lifelong history in the aquatic, recreational and life-saving sector, Paul has the luxury of combining his passion with his career. After 5 years managing the life-saving clubs and water safety industry on Victoria's world-famous coastal beaches, an opportunity arose to represent the aquatic industry in the 3 tiers of Australian government. Paul now leads the strategic direction, managing assets and resources that go into drowning prevention. As part of his role, he manages the community and government partnership at Lifesaving Victoria, which includes chairing industry communications and campaigns, pool and spa safety, and inland waterway drowning prevention. He is passionate that the benefits of being in, around, and on our waterways outweigh the risks associated.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's Michelle and I'm a Swimming and Water Safety Education Project Officer at Lifesaving Victoria. Today we'll be talking about Water Safety Week 2020, the events, activities, merchandise and competitions and how this year might look different. The Swimming and Water Safety Education team are live in the chat to answer any questions you have, so why don't you write your name and where you're from so they can say hi. To get started, I'm going to hand over to Paul Shannon, General Manager of Government and Industry Relations at Lifesaving Victoria and Chair of the Play It Safe by the Water Committee, to give us a brief overview and background on Play It Safe by the Water.
On the 8th of January 1998, 4 children drowned while swimming at Gunnamatta Beach in Victoria. In response to this tragedy, the Play It Safe by the Water campaign was launched. The first TV commercials appeared in 1998. Since then, the campaign has addressed many aspects of water safety, including keeping toddlers and children safe when around water, the impact of swimming ability when drinking, and general precaution when at inland waterways, beaches or pools. The Victorian Government continues to work collaboratively with aquatic agencies and others in delivering public education and awareness programs to increase water safety awareness. The Victorian Government would like to commemorate the 20-year anniversary of this important campaign, which has made a significant difference for the people of Victoria. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
So 21 years ago, there was a terrible tragedy at Gunnamatta Beach where 9 people headed over the sand dunes onto the sand and only 5 returned. As a consequence of that day and the events that had happened in the lead up to it, there'd been 16 drowning deaths in 19 days. And the government of the day stood up and said, that's enough, what's going on, what can we do about it? So as a result of that, the government brought together 5 key stakeholders in water safety, put them in the room together and said, okay, as a collective, what can we do about drowning in the state of Victoria after this horrific run where the tabloids had named the Victorian coastline the cruel sea. A set of engagement principles were adopted as a result of bringing those five agencies together, one of which was Aquatics Recreation Victoria, which is pretty relevant for the day. And from that was the birth of the first community issue-based working group, which was really the recognition that everyone has a place to play in the drowning chain, and it's important that both community, government and the industry play a part in trying to reduce drowning. With the engagement of those 5 stakeholders, a set of principles were put in place to make sure that everyone contributed evenly across the board with regards to drowning prevention. Those principles were consultation, so the sharing of information, questions or positions to obtain ideas, feedback, knowledge or an understanding of objectives and expectations. Collaboration, so partnering with communities to support action, including developing alternatives and identifying a preferred solution. Empowerment, individuals and communities have capacity to understand risk and accept responsibility and implement initiatives. Information, sharing information between communities and agencies to come to a mutual understanding. Everyone is informed and able to take responsibility for decisions and actions. And participation, so building connected networks and relationships, ownership and trust through active involvement. So the objectives of the Play It Safe by the Water group are really to honour the memory of Molly, Ben, Belinda and Catherine, who all drowned that day at Gunnamatta Beach 21 years ago now. And in doing that, we're striving to understand the inherent dangers of water. Some positive things came out of that terrible tragedy. One has been the state signage around the coastline, which is now uniform, and also the introduction of the Play It Safe by the Water group. The Play It Safe by the Water group has been able to influence a number of areas across water safety, and as a consequence, compared to 21 years ago, we've now got a 46% reduction in the drowning toll. There's lots of different steps along the way that have contributed to that, and that's things like advocacy around life jacket use, changes to boating laws, changes to backyard swimming pool, barrier laws. So the Play It Safe by the Water allows us to address drowning through a collaborative lens of stakeholders made up of subject matter experts, state sporting associations and government bodies and non-for-profits. So where we started with 5 agencies 21 years ago, we've now got 20 agencies who are regular participants of the Play It Safe by the Water group. As a consequence of that 20 years of hard work, the Play It Safe by the Water message in itself has become a little bit of an oxymoron, be it that it's like don't play on the road. It's largely common sense. But what we've been able to do over those 20 years is to actually build a brand of excellence in water safety. And for the agencies involved in Play It Safe by the Water, it's a mark of excellence in water safety to be able to put the Play It Safe by the Water brand across your name, and it really shows it to their members and those that partake in those activities that the agencies do have a duty of care and like to see that their members are prepared for being in, on and around water. On the other side of the equation to the industry, we've got government, and Lifesaving Victoria's involvement with Emergency Management Victoria gives us that ability to tie in the government element. There are a number of different parts of government that have touch points to water safety. More recently, the government has formed an interagency task force to address drowning as a consequence of the highest drowning record in 20 years happening 2 years ago. So that task force is made up of a number of different agencies, whether it be Department of Education, Sport and Recreation Victoria, Department of Planning in the case of backyard pools. And that interagency task force is now coming together to address the new Victorian water safety strategy, which we hope to be able to put out next year. And while Lifesaving Victoria is a key delivery arm for the different stakeholders of government, it's important that we've got that buy-in at a state level. Play It Safe by the Water has touch points across many different areas in the drowning prevention chain, and certainly if I just work through these ones, from a research perspective, everything we do runs through the Lifesaving Victoria Risk and Research Department. We're continuously gathering data from our own LSV work, but also across the work that's delivered by the other agencies in Play It Safe by the Water. There's a high level of advocacy, whether this is around drinking in public space or the introduction of life jacket laws, or in fact the backyard pool scenario with fencing. Also on partnerships, we're working with other stakeholders, whether it be the Victorian Building Authority looking at home pool regulations, or the Department of Land in regards to location of lifesaving clubs. At a campaign level, Play It Safe by the Water group delivers a public campaign every year. The campaign that we've run that has the greatest recall is the 20 seconds is all it takes for a child to drown. With the safe venues, an example that Play It Safe have been involved in has been the development of a risk app that we're working on at the moment that allows the different state sporting associations that are involved with water safety to be able to run a risk process before their events. And from an education perspective, a good example is the Surfers Rescue 24/7 program, which looks at teaching the surfing fraternity on how to conduct a rescue. And again, thanks to the state government, there's a contribution from state government that goes into a number of these particular areas on an annual basis. Key documentation in regards to water safety in the state of Victoria is the Victorian Water Safety Strategy. The current strategy concludes this year. The state government is going to manage the production of the next Victorian Water Safety Strategy in conjunction with industry and Lifesaving Victoria. The Australian Water Safety Strategy, which is to be released later this month, again is based on that same framework that the Victorian Water Safety Strategy will work off. The new Victorian Water Safety Strategy to be delivered by government is following the Safe Systems Framework, which is adopted across the Victorian roads. It's also adopted across Australian maritime, which is that people make mistakes, people are vulnerable, safety is a shared responsibility, and all parts of the system must be strengthened. So people make mistakes. Some aquatic incidents are inevitable due to the erratic forces of our environment and human behaviour and how the two interact. And people make mistakes, for want of a better word, is the shit happens phrase. You can be totally doing the right thing but being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and as a consequence you may be washed off a rock wall and drown. So certainly the forces of nature which are uncontrollable play a large part in regards to that piece of work. People are vulnerable, so human bodies have a limited ability to withstand submersion and exposure to weather conditions. Some people are more vulnerable than others depending on age, fitness, competency and knowledge. Safety is a shared responsibility. Drowning prevention is a shared responsibility across community, industry and government, which we've just spoken about being the essence of the Play It Safe by the Water group. Community plays an important role in ensuring its own safety. The aquatic industry plays a role not only in providing venues, education and information for drowning prevention, but also addressing resilience, health, social and wellbeing issues associated with being in, on and around water. Governments provide policy and enforcement to manage and keep our waterways safe, sustained and available to all. And all parts of the system must be strengthened. Strengthening systems includes infrastructure, safety equipment, enforcement, risk management, policy, research, preparedness and response and access and egress, communication structures and management and coordination. A strong system will ensure that if one part fails, then the other parts will be there to protect those involved. The key areas of focus of the strategy are going to be safer aquatic environments, better prepared people and stronger partnerships and collaboration. Again, hopefully post this narrow focus on COVID, once we get some more government resources, we intend to get that new strategy started in 2021. For 2021, the key focuses for the Play It Safe by the Water group, we're going to be looking to address toddlers, which is something we pretty much cover off every year, given that there's a new set of toddlers every year and a new set of parents and carers that all need educating. And what our drowning report's telling us after toddlers is that both older adults and younger men are a high priority, as are our cold community, which we know are in that 34 to 40% of all drownings in the state. So we'll be addressing some of the behaviours there, alcohol life jackets, and making sure people aren't swimming alone. In regards to environments this year, it's going to be through a slightly different lens. Coming out of COVID, we've got some pretty high-level predictors that are telling us that there's going to be a lot of people flocking to our waterways, both inland and coastal. So we'll be putting a COVID safety lens over people frequenting, public land and waterways. So again, there'll be messaging come out. So if you require any further information on the Play It Safe by the Water group, or you'd like to be involved in some way, you can contact us at playitsafe@lsv.com.au, or you can have a look at the Play It Safe by the Water website that's hosted by Department of Justice and Community Safety. Thanks for your time today. Really appreciate you listening in. The Play It Safe by the Water is a wonderful initiative. As mentioned, it's really about honouring the memory of those 4 young children who died 21 years ago as a result probably of poor signage and communication, and hopefully we've all learned something from it and something good's come out of it, and Play It Safe by the Water is just a fantastic committee to be involved with.
Thanks, Paul, for that insight into Play It Safe by the Water and the work the committee are doing to lower drowning incidents in Victorian waterways. Water Safety Week is a Play It Safe by the Water initiative. It's run annually during the first week in December. This year, Water Safety Week will run from Monday, 30th of November to Sunday, 6th of December. And to tell us more about Water Safety Week, I have a quick message from Taya Phillips at Aquatics and Recreation Victoria.
Good morning, I'm Taya Phillips and I'm the Member Services and Event Coordinator at Aquatics and Recreation Victoria. I've been part of the Play It Safe by the Water campaign for nearly 9 years now and have seen it through many different eras, and it's been involved in many success stories that have been accomplished across these years. Play It Safe, established in 1998 with 5 aquatic agencies, which included ARV, and has now grown to 20 aquatic agencies with experts in their own given fields. Throughout the last decade, ARV have engaged with these independent agencies to enhance and distribute important water safety messaging through the iconic Water Safety Week. During these years, ARV's initiatives have included water safety carnivals, family fun days, performances, social media campaigns, competitions, water safety documentation, and the well-regarded distribution of merchandise. For many years, ARV have distributed water safety merchandise to 200 aquatic and recreation facilities to encourage the participation in Water Safety Week and the importance of aquatic safety. ARV will continue this for 2020 to help swim schools navigate their way through this challenging year and the recovery after COVID-19. So please sign up via ARV's website and newsletters to be one of the first 200 facilities to be involved in Water Safety Week for 2020. As the industry recovers from the current uncertain environment, we hope the projects from all Play It Safe by the Water committee members and agencies are welcomed and provide valuable resources for the industry. After all, our common goal is to increase the safety around water and to reduce the number of fatal and non-fatal drownings within Victoria.
Thanks, Taya, for that message. For anyone who would like to register for Water Safety Week merchandise, we've put a link to the ARV survey in the chat for you. Now, as we have mentioned, Water Safety Week may look a little different this year. We may or may not be able to do some of the same activities that we're used to. Things such as running big community events with lots of people, running water safety stations in swimming lessons, or using mascots or costumes may not be available. But that does not mean you cannot still participate. This just means we have an opportunity to think about how we can deliver things differently. This year, you might be sharing your key messages online and through virtual engagement. This could include virtual CPR or first aid information sessions for both parents and students, online activities and competitions, apps such as the Everyday Lifesaver app or 000 Hero are great options because students receive a certificate at the end. We also have some free resources available via our online swimming and water safety toolkit. The link is in the chat. You may also share the key water safety messages through awareness campaigns on your social media platforms. Or this could be the time to drive swimming lesson enrolments with a Join Now, Pay Later campaign ahead of summer. Whatever your plans, we would love for you to share your ideas with us at Lifesaving Victoria. We may be able to visit your facility or help promote your activities online. So send us an email at schoolswimming@lsv.com.au. Now, the team at LSV have also been currently working hard on some exciting plans ahead of Water Safety Week. Now, while I can't give everything away now, what I can give you is some small snippets of what you can expect from us. Firstly, the key message for Water Safety Week 2020 will be about supervision. You will see in the chat a link to an article from KidSafe which highlights the recent number of drowning deaths in Victoria and provides a timely reminder for the need to supervise children around water. This Water Safety Week, we will be reminding parents that children under the age of 5 must remain within arm's reach at all times, and children under the age of 10 must be within eyesight at all times around water. As always, LSV will be launching the Victorian Drowning Report for the 2019-2020 year. And to help you share the message of supervision, Lifesaving Victoria will be designing some media tiles which will be available for you to download for free and share key water safety messages with your communities. I am very excited to be able to tell you that the Swimming and Water Safety Education team are planning a big staged activation in Melbourne with the focus on supervision. I can't give away too much now because we're still working to get permits and equipment, but what I can say is that we're hoping to attract some big media attention. Lastly, we will be running a competition for schools and swim schools. To enter, you simply need to share what you've been doing for Water Safety Week. Entries will need to include either a video or photo showcasing your Water Safety Week activities and will be submitted via the online form. The winning entry will demonstrate innovation, creativity, and a wide reach within the community. We will provide further information on how you can enter via our Swimming and Water Safety monthly email closer to Water Safety Week. If you do not receive these emails, you can subscribe via our Swimming and Water Safety online toolkit. So now is the time to get planning. We only have 1 month until Water Safety Week. Think about what will work best for your facility and community and how you can share water safety messages safely. I look forward to hearing all your ideas and plans, so don't forget to send us an email at schoolswimming@lsv.com.au. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions on offer. I hope to be able to see you in person soon. Bye for now.